In this series of web services, now we are going to check how to create an asynchronous client. Asynchronous client means while the client has sent the request to the server, the user should be able to do something else. You don't need to wait for the response from the server to continue with your task. Just to check how things work here, we will need to create a GUI, an user interface, graphical user interface, which will connect to an existing web service. We are not going to create the web service ourselves. We will use the existing web service. Means we are consuming an existing web service. So our GUI should look like this. So let's start developing it using NetBeans. So we'll go to NetBeans here. New. Select Java. Select what is called Java application. Click next. There is a first step to be followed here. You don't create a main class here. Okay. Then we will issue this name as the name of the client. Async spell check client. So just finish the project. So our async spell check client is here. This is our first one. Right click on it. Go to properties. So you will have this properties page here. So this is the properties page. You can see there is a run here in which you can specify the main form in the main class. Give OK to it. Right click, click new, select JFrame form. We are using JFrames here. And give the name of the frame as main form. Give the name of the form as your main form. And we need to place a package name here. So we'll call it as org.me.forms and click finish. So this is the same main form. We are setting it up in the properties. If you right click, go to properties, you will find run. You have to specify what is the form you are going to run. So you can browse it and choose the form here. So it should be ore.me.forms.mainForm. Previous time when you typed main form, it's not necessary because we didn't create the main form at that time. So let's give OK here. So now we have to open the main.form file and let's click on the design mode. We are in the design mode now. So we can choose the design mode here. This is our design mode. Let's move the output window a little below. So if you want to see the source, here is the source, here is the design mode. So in the design mode, we can design few things here. What are we going to do? This is the palette. Palette contains certain elements which we need. So we are going to drag and drop 3 scroll panes. Okay, we'll drop 3 scroll panes. So if you want to see how it should look like, it should be like this. So these are the panes we need. So let's drag one down here. Let's pull it up. Let's bring a second one. Let's pull a third one. So these are 3 scroll panes we have brought in. After that, we are asked to bring in 3 text fields. Okay, so this is what that will contain the text field. We'll actually take 5 text fields. 3 of them will go into these boxes here. So let's bring text field here. So here is the text field. So what you do is 3 of them will go into the pan itself. So this is 1 inside the scroll area. This is 2. This is 3. So we have 3 text fields here. Other than these three, we also need two more. So let's see, compare our, we need one down here. So this is the fourth one, and we need the fifth one as well. Okay, so we have 5 text fields now. And we need to name them, give some names for them. So you can go to the design again, right click on them, you can go to the properties, and you can find the names here. It's called J text field, right? So you will say TF your text. This is the first one. Is inside the scroll pen and it is editable. So if you scroll down, you will find here it is editable, so it's okay. So the first one is changed into your text. The second one, let's talk about this one here. So you will find the second one is about the wrong word, the number of all wrong words here. This one here, right click, go to properties. Let's change this into TF wrong words. This is inside, but this is not editable. So this is the wrong words. So if you see this, it has wrong words here. There is a third one, which is about suggestions, which is this one here. Right click, go to properties, name of it is TF suggestions 1. It's again not editable, so not editable, right? So these are things we have done. Next, this is our next field. This talks about, in this diagram here you can see it says number of mistakes. Right click on that text field, go to properties, give the name as TF number mistakes. Again, this is not editable. Okay, just give okay there. Then there is one more text field, open it, and then this is also not editable. The name of it is TF wrong word 1. So we have followed this table and we have arranged the names accordingly. Now it says down, just bring in a progress bar. Okay, so let's bring in a progress bar. Here is a progress bar. The progress bar should come somewhere here. Let's make it a little longer there. Right click on it. Okay, and we need to give a name for this progress bar. So this is the variable name we want to provide. So this is the variable name. Let's give it PB progress. Okay, so that is done. The variable name is done now. Then you're asked to drop in 2 buttons here. Let's see where the button should go. One is here, one is here. So let's look for a button. One button comes here. And the other button is down here. Okay. So we have dropped in 2 buttons here. And let's name them. The first button, we need to name it as BT check. So let's bring the button here, just a moment. Okay, right click, go here. There is a name for the button and there's also a text for the button. So for the text, we will say check text. Okay, it's called check spelling. So let's use the word check spelling in our frame, in our form itself. Okay, let's go down here. So this is the name of it, check spelling, and there's a variable name. We call it as bt check. Then let's get another button. So come somewhere here, and we'll say here properties. Let's call it as next wrong word, and the variable name here is bt next wrong word. You close. So this is the setup here. And then they want to put some labels which will represent some names properly. So let's take some labels around. So we'll pull down some label here. We need one label at the top, and just double click, call it as spell checker. Okay, if you want to make it big or something, you can right click, and then we can go into the properties, and we can increase the size if you want to. For example, the font you can change. So you can make it a little bit bigger. Then the next one, we will create another label. We'll call it as your text. Next, another label. This didn't change properly. Let's change it again. So number of mistakes is there. Then we can bring in one more label here, and we call it as wrong word. Bring one more label. Give it the name suggestions. And this is our layout. So the GUI is ready now. This could be a little bit bigger. Let's move this guy a bit down. Let's continue. So the frame is ready. Now when this is ready, the next job is to make sure it supports what is called asynchronous clients, asynchronous tasks. So go back to the project, right click on it, click new. You should find what is called as web service client. So we should go here, right click, click on other, new, click on other. If you scroll down, you will find web services. Choose web service client and click next. Now it will ask you for a WSDL file. So we need to provide the WSDL. As I have told you earlier, we are consuming somebody else's web service. We are not creating our web service. Click this one, and you can accept everything as it is, and then click finish. So with your network ready, network should be connected here because it's going to read from that WSDL site, from the URL you have provided, and generate the web service references. So it takes some little time. It says build successful, so it is done. Now if you go into web services, if you click on it, you will find there is a check. And what we need to do here is this. If you click on it again, you find check, you find check soap. Like the previous time, you will also find certain elements like check text body and so on. So right click on the first check here, click edit web service attributes. So in the web service attributes, you will find such a thing comes. You can click on WSDL customization. Then you will find port types. Okay, then you can expand check soap. Port type operations, you will find check text body version 2. Okay, and if you go into that, you will find that it's called enable asynchronous client. Just enable it, give OK to it. So it will say it needs to regenerate things from the WSDL. So this time, once it is done, you will see there'll be some extra methods, like it says build successful. If you go in and check again, check soap, you will find some asynchronous methods which was not there. Async callback is here, async polling is there, which was not there earlier. So we need to add these codes into our client. So now let's open our mainframe.java. This is our mainframe.java program. So go into the program, let's open it. This is our main methods here. So we are going to add such a method now. You can go to the end. Let's just leave all these variables and paste this guy here. So this is the method we have added. So then in the web service references, just go and get the async callback. So drag this guy and drop it inside the method we have just now created. So it will add some things there. It will create the try catch there, and it will put reference to the handler, and it will access the existing web service. So if you go to our design menu there, okay, and you are there, if you double click the spell checking method, it will bring you to another method here, which is called bt check, which is the name of that variable name of that button, and action performed. This is what will create. So basically we want to do what you want to do when you click that button. That's all. So how to do it? Go to the design menu. From the design menu, you just double click on the button you want to do the job, and that's it. Remember, this call async callback is the method we have written earlier. Okay, so now you will see it has got few things here, and it's giving some error on this line because it doesn't know what is the text name of that field. So if you go down here, this is your text field, tf your text. Okay, so is the name correct? Let's check. Tf your text, that refers to it. Then go to the top of your program. You will find main method, main form extends the JFrame. Right, include a statement like this. You are introducing an action listener, and you are giving a name for it as next word. So if you find that it gives an underline here, error for the next word, go to the design and then check where is the next word. So it should be an action listener, which is for next word. Maybe it is not designed properly there. So you can compare with our procedure here. Here we talk about next word here? There's no such thing as next word in this reference. Let's see. Now go back to our code. Go to our call async callback method. This is our method. And let's copy these things here. So we are going to replace what is existing there with this stuff here. Okay, let's copy the whole thing. So now that we have copied everything here, so after copy paste the code inside, you'll find there are some errors here. So let's try to debug those errors and see how to sort them out. Number one, you'll find here it says cannot find symbol, TF number mistakes. So you'll go to the design, you will check TS number mistakes is here. So let's right click, go to properties, go to the code here. You'll find the variable name is not right, so we will change it. TF number mistakes. Give OK here. Go back to the code. So that error is gone. So let's see whether there are other errors, like there's a list, which is actually something problem here. So let's right click and see what can we do. It says fix import. Just click on the fix import. So it says remove unused import. So you can say OK. All right, so the list is gone. So the error is gone. So no more. There's another error, TF wrong word 1. This is our case. Just right click, go to the properties, or to the code, and then we just change here TF wrong word 1. Let's give OK here. Go back, the error should have been removed now. So no such errors on that line. Let's scroll down, see whether there are any other errors. TF suggestions is not there. So just go here, right click on it, go to properties, go to the code, change the variable name, TF suggestions 1. Let's go back here. So TF suggestion error is gone. So literally now there are no more errors basically. Okay, so the errors are being taken care of, and also whatever is necessary in terms of import is handled. So we can save the file. Now let's try to run this application. Select the project, click run project. So here is our project. So let's type something, testing, click. So no, wrong word, let's type something wrongly. So it gives you various options here. Alright, so you can go for the next word and keep going. So this is the idea here. Okay, so basically we have just done a small application which is a GUI using JFrame, and we are consuming somebody else's web service asynchronously. There are a few common errors I want to mention in terms of compiling files in Java using Java. Whenever you want to compile something using Java, always check your version like this, Java C blank space minus version. This is my Java version, and also try these two things. So if I'm going to compile my file using Java C with version 1.7, which is version 7, then my runtime environment, which is Java, when I'm running, it should also support version 7. If there is discrepancy like this, then I need to compile something with a target with a different number. Let's say my Java is 1.6, then I should say Java C minus target 6, and then I should give my file name .java and compile it. There's also yet another option. If your source belongs to a different version, you can provide source and the number, the version number, and you can say minus target 7 and say the file name .java. So these things are necessary when you are having different versions. This is commonly possible because Java C comes from JDK and Java comes from JRE, and depends on what you have set up in your environment variables. Okay, if you go to your computer and so go to advanced system settings, go here environment variables. It depends on what you have set up in your path or in the common system path. Okay, so if you make sure they are set up correctly, then it should be okay. Right, make sure they both point to JDK version. If you are referring to both JDK and JRE here, make sure the JDK is referred ahead of the JRE. So JDK comes first, then the next ones. Every entry here should be separated by a semicolon. So this is just to clarify to you if you have problems in terms of compilation at the command prompt using version issues. So with this, we come to the end of this session, and we'll take the next web service example.